my daughter had a crazy dream. So I was cutting hair today and I called my wife just to let her know I was leaving back out to go cut somebody else's hair. You know, I do a little version of mobile hair cutting and, you know, cutting at the crib too. I don't have my shop anymore. So she told me that my daughter, my youngest daughter, who's only 10 years old, had a crazy dream and that she was scared. And so she didn't want to tell me about it. She wanted my daughter to tell me about it. You know, tell my daughter to come downstairs to share with me her dream. And she proceeds to let me know that she had a dream that was so scary to her and sad because she said that I was dying and that I couldn't understand anything from anybody. So basically, I was incoherent, or as far as like not being able to make out what people were saying to me or something like that. And so her mom in the dream told her that I have to eat healthy for 11 years. That was what she said. And I was like, whoa, this is kind of trippy. So the first thing I thought, like, okay, in a dream, what was really wrong with me? And so she was talking about eating healthy, saying that my wife said in the dream that I have to eat healthy for 11 years, even though I was kind of dying, I guess. And it had me thinking, like, maybe was I in a state of a stroke or something like that? Because you know how sometimes if you have a severe stroke, you seem kind of incoherent. You may slurred speech, deformity, physical deformity, a few things that can go on and occur, crippleness, you know, when you have a stroke. And, you know, strokes are also tied to heart problems and things of that nature. And so it had me thinking. It was crazy because the client I had just cut, which is my boy Brian, we were just talking about the stresses of men and how being a man is tough, like always thinking about providing and making sure the money is right and whatever. And I was telling him, like, yeah, I know. I said, part of my stressing is eating, you know, stress eating. And I told him, I had shared with him, you know, like, I'm fasting right now, you know, and because I really got to get this weight off. And I was just like, man, I feel like sometimes, like, if I keep going the way I'm going, I'm going to die, right? Because of, you know, the way I've been eating, you know, the sweets and sugars and stuff like that. And so this is right before my daughter came down to share with me her dream. And dude, I really like, it was like God literally sent my daughter to give me a warning. Because who can explain that? Literally having this talk minutes before my daughter shared with me her dream that she already had earlier that morning. And so it was a signal. The first signal was to keep going, all right? To keep doing what I was doing, which was fasting. You know, I'm officially 48 hours, more than 48 hours fasting. I do have coffee right now, black coffee. Well, it's got a little cream in it, but like I said, I did. So what it was, I was dry fasting for the first 48 hours. And the only reason why I even had coffee is because with no sugar in it, got allulose, which is a 0-calorie sweetener, and it doesn't spike your insulin or anything like that. Well, anyway, only reason why I even got coffee is because I was taking my two daughters to this, dropping them off to this play, and it was way on the north side of Chicago, and the drive was going to be long. So I'm like, and I'm pretty sleepy. So I'm like, I got to get some coffee. I don't know if I'm going to make it without the coffee, you know? So needless to say, I'm still not eating any food until I drop 50 pounds, and that's still standing true. And so I'm about to go to Whole Foods to get some watermelon juice to hydrate, and maybe some coconut water to hydrate, and some regular water to hydrate. And then after that, I'll be back dry fasting again, and, you know, hopefully go at least for 4 days, 3 to 4 days dry fasting. So I'm sticking to the plan. That's the point. The point is I'm sticking to the plan. And that really gave me the motivation, like hearing what my daughter had to say, really gave me the motivation to make sure I see this all the way through, you know? And I don't want to fail. I got to be here for my family. My youngest daughter is only 10. So I don't want to fail and not be here for my daughter, to not watch her grow up, not watch both of them go down the aisle with, you know, the husband that God provides them with, I should say, or blesses them with. And, I just want to make sure I'm around. I want to walk them down the aisle, And so I don't want anything, any ailments, anything that I self-inflict upon myself to hinder me from doing what I got to do, from, being there for my family, providing, growing old. So that's a part of the success, and that's a part of, why the discipline talks mean everything to me, like really reflecting. And so, like I said, I'm about to go to Whole Foods, get my watermelon juice. I might hit up the gym or find a part that got some some pull-up bars or something, dip bars, that I can do some dips and just do some walking or something like that, get some steps in. I'm sticking to it, bro. Like, if you're determined to change your life, you have to do what you have to do to change it. You have to do it. You got to do it. You can't stop. You can't keep stopping, stopping, because you'll never see the progress. You make a little bit of progress and you stop, you got to start back over. It doesn't pick up where you left off, But yeah, man, day 3 is on the way. We're inside of day 3 now. 5 p.m. Thursday is when I started. It's now 7 p.m. Saturday, right? So once again, haven't ate any food, no food since Thursday before 5 p.m. and I'm sticking to it. It is what it is. A long journey. I don't know how fast I can get rid of these 50 pounds. It'll be pretty fast the way I'm doing it, truthfully, probably within a month, honestly. 30 days. I should definitely be, with the amount of dry fasting, with the walking, 10,000 steps a day, all of that, training too on days. I'm only going to train when I have fluids, when I have juice, like watermelon juice and green juice. That's the only time I'm going to train. Like when I'm dry fasting, I'm not training. I will walk, but I'm not going to train because, I don't want to be too depleted and pass out or anything like that. And maybe I will start training while dry fasting once I ramp it up and really get past some of these plateaus and really figure it out all the way, But man, we got to stay locked in. It's due season. It's your boy Carl Anthony. I should have led with it's locked in. It's due season, but that's the slogan. We locked in. Stay locked in. Do what we got to do. Discipline Talks, episode 3. Hit that like button, man. If you rocking with this content, thank you. If you're only watching the first minute, it is what it is, But hopefully I get this retention. Hopefully people like what I'm saying. And if they don't, it is what it is. I can document it for my journey, for what I'm going through, and look back on it and like, man, hey, I stuck to something. I did these videos every single day. I stuck to my fasting until I dropped the 50 pounds first, and then eventually the 100 pounds. And I'm not letting nothing stop me, man. We locked in, bro. Let's get it. And shout out to God for sending me these messages to keep myself focused, for real. It is what it is. Peace.